feels more chilly today. I guess winter is sticking around for sure, even though it felt warmer over the past few weeks. And what did I read today? This was kind of interesting. You heard, for example, there's drones that are usually dominated by Chinese manufacturers when it comes to recreational drones and all that. How about this one? It's kind of an interesting title. It says, China leaks a blueprint for drone war dominance. So not just recreational drones, even ones for military, I suppose, huh? According to this, it says, China has revealed an ambitious plan to transform its military operations through the integration of more advanced unmanned systems, a strategic shift toward drone-led special operations in war scenarios, including a potential conflict with the US over Taiwan. The South China Morning Post reported this month that China's military plans to replace humans with machines in special operations overseas to mitigate the high risks of such missions. Scientists are working with the People's Liberation Army to develop unmanned aerial vehicles capable of flying vast distances, diving deep underwater, and lying in wait for long periods. The PLA's 78092 unit revealed details about a hypothetical overseas special operations plan published in the Fire Control and Command Control Journal, aiming to help Chinese companies, engineers, and scientists better understand the military's needs and strategic goals. The PLA's plan says the hypothetical operation is set in 2035 when a small-scale conflict between China and an unnamed neighboring country occurs, with the caveat that both sides agree to limit their equipment to small arms, including small boats, drones, and anti-aircraft guns. In that 2035 scenario, the PLA is tasked with striking swiftly and silently at key enemy installations, including critical command and supply hubs deep behind enemy lines. I wouldn't doubt if that's true overall anyways. There are many places that are trying to win the drone race, I guess you could say. I wouldn't doubt if China comes out ahead. I know when a lot of people think drones too, nowadays anyways, they think more about things flying in the air, but it even says here it could include things like ground vehicles as well, with these tank-like features. It's almost something straight out of video games and movies at this rate, huh? I guess one advantage that places like China often have is being able to make this stuff for a lot cheaper. So with that thought, it was kind of interesting reading this in general in terms of these Iranian drones that has been on the news recently. Apparently, the claim here is there's been details released on how much it actually costs to make one of these. This one says, hacker group reveals cost of Iranian drone production. A group of hackers from the Prana network were able to gain access to the mail servers of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, which contained information on the production and cost of the Shahed 136 attack drones used by Russia. Russia has used Iranian-made Shahed drones to indiscriminately attack Ukraine since the start of its full-scale invasion in February 2022. The IRGC operates a shell company known as Sahara Thunder, which promotes illegal arms sales between Iran and Russia. A group of hackers from Prana were able to publish internal documents revealing the cost of production of an individual drone, as well as the profits Iran made from Shahed 136 sales to Russia. So it's kind of fascinating if this is true anyways. It says documents revealed that one drone cost $375,000 to produce. During negotiations, an agreement was reached establishing that each drone would cost only $193,000 when Russia ordered 6,000 units, or $290,000 when ordering 2,000 units. In total, the Iranian government earned $1.8 billion from the sale of Shahed drones to Russia. At least part of the payments, the documents report, were provided in gold. Wow, it puts it in perspective too, where all that talk of how people say drone is good for business for a lot of countries and companies in general. I guess that says it right there, huh? If it's true anyways, I wouldn't doubt if it is. And in terms of, I guess, expensive things, how about something more down to earth, at least what people are using consumer-wise? This is kind of fascinating. Recently, Apple released their Apple Vision Pro, which is essentially kind of like VR or AR goggles that you wear, and you can interact with it where you could see what's in front of you at the same time. It uses like hand gestures, for example, I suppose, and recognition in order to do various tasks. I've been reading stuff how people literally could do regular desktop work with this goggle, I guess, while they're out. Now, with that, apparently people are using this in ridiculous ways that are causing concerns. Like this one says, public immediately starts wearing headset in inappropriate scenarios. Apple's Vision Pro has finally been released, allowing the public to wear it in a variety of inappropriate scenarios. The headset was released on Friday and has quickly made its way into the real world. Users have been spotted wearing it to walk around, ride public transport, and skateboard. That is despite warnings from Apple that it should never be used in any situation requiring attention to safety. Despite those warnings, a variety of videos have shown people wearing the headset to travel around busy streets and more. So they talk about people even like on YouTube and stuff like that, of course, I guess creating videos of it. It says just a day after it was launched, for example, the YouTuber Casey Neistat filmed a video in which he used the headset on a trip around New York City, which included him skateboarding down busy Manhattan streets. He suggested the Vision Pro could be useful when waiting for a train, for instance. So that would seem kind of, I guess, okay if you're using it in that scenario, like you're sitting down waiting and then you can use this, I suppose, whatever it may be, to watch a movie or maybe to do work. But some of them just seem so ridiculous. Like there's people posting on social media as they show. This one says, think different. It's a guy driving his car and using this at the same time. This can't be safe, correct? Whose idea is that? I'm imagining this is just done for attention. I don't see how that is practical for what this guy is doing anyways. The only thing I can see it would be useful in terms of a car is, instead of trying to look everywhere for your angles or doing shoulder checks and all that, if this thing can actually put all the camera angles right in front of you as you drive, having immediate, I guess, access to all angles, that would be good for safety and so forth. Some other ones like here says, oh no, it's reached London. People just walking around again using the goggles. It seems really weird again to be using this during a busy time. I can imagine it's distracting if you're actually trying to get through like a large crowd of people and all that. Or this one says, this has to be the hardest, most futuristic exit of a Cybertruck owner anyone has ever seen thus far. What would you think of this? I know there was some other ones too, where people are eating like in a restaurant, a meal, and they have these things interacting with it. Like that's a little too much, isn't it? But what would you think of this type of future? I know there are actually goggles or glasses, whatever you want to say, that actually have these augmented reality features, although it's not as powerful and sophisticated, but I can imagine something like that in the future. Just wearing something like regular sunglasses and having access to these types of information in front of you. What would you think overall? Is this going to be something that's going to stay for the long term, or do you think this is just a fad at the moment? All right, see you guys later.